The Ringing Cedars, Series 29, Anastasia, Book 1, Vladimir Megre. The taste of paradise. Your brain is tired of having to understand me, and I would like to talk about many more things. I would like that, but you have to rest. Let's sit down a little longer. We sat down on the grass. Anastasia took me by the shoulders and hugged me. The back of my head touched her breasts, feeling the warmth. "Don't be afraid of me. Relax," she said quietly. She slipped her fingers into my hair as if combing it. Occasionally, she would poke her fingernails in various places on her head faintly. All this brought me a feeling of calmness and peace of mind. "Listen, please, what sounds do you hear around you now?" I listened, and my hearing received many sounds of different intensity, rhythm and duration. I started counting them out loud. Birds singing in the trees, the crackling of insects in the meadow, buzzing of bumblebees, rustling of trees, flapping of birds' wings. Having enumerated everything that was heard, I shut up, continued to listen attentively, and I found it all pleasant and interesting. "You didn't list everything," Anastasia noticed. "Everything," I replied. "Well, maybe I missed something not so important or something I didn't hear. Therefore, unimportant." "Vladimir, don't you hear my heart beating?" Anastasia asked. "Really? Why didn't I pay attention to this sound?" The sound of her heart beating. "Yes," I told her right away. "Of course I can hear it. It beats evenly and quietly. Try to remember in what intervals the sounds you hear appear. Choose the basic ones for that and remember them." I chose the boat of some kind of insect. The song of a bird. Gurgling and splashing water in the stream. I will now increase my heartbeat, and you pay attention to what will happen around you. Anastasia's heart began to beat faster, and immediately after it, the rhythms of sounds that could be heard around accelerated. Their tonality rose. "Surprising. It's just amazing," I exclaimed. "Are they, Anastasia, so sensitive to the rhythm of your heart?" "That, all of them, absolutely all of them. A small blade of grass, a large tree, and a tiny insect respond to changes in the rhythm of my heartbeat. Trees speed up their internal processes, begin to produce more oxygen. Do all the plants and animals that surround people respond like this?" I asked. "Not in your world. They don't know who to answer to, and you don't bother to talk to them. You don't understand the purpose of such a relationship. You don't give them enough information about yourself." Something similar can happen with those plants and with people who work on their small plots of land with vegetable gardens. If people do everything as I have already told you, if they give the seeds full information about themselves, if they become more aware in dealing with plants. Do you want me to show you how a man who will establish such a relationship will feel? Of course I want to. But how are you going to do it? I will now match the rhythm of my heartbeat with yours, so you will feel it. And her heart slowly adjusted and began to beat in the same rhythm as mine. And the most wonderful thing happened. An unusually pleasant feeling appeared, as if my beloved relatives and mother were next to me. The body became soft and healthy, and in the soul, joy, freedom and an almost new knowledge of the universe. The array of surrounding sounds addressed me tenderly and spoke a truth that I only intuitively sensed and which I still did not fully understand. All the feelings of joy and gentleness, which I have ever felt in my life, almost as if they overflowed into one unique and beautiful feeling. Maybe this kind of feeling is called happiness. But as soon as Anastasia began to change the rhythm of her heartbeat, the beautiful feeling began to leave me. I asked, "More, please, more, Anastasia. I can't do that for long. I have my own rhythm. Give me just a little more," I begged. And Anastasia briefly restored my feeling of happiness. Everything passed, leaving me with only a fragment of a pleasant and undisturbed feeling like the memory of him. We were silent for a while, then I asked, "So, was it so good for the first people, Adam and Eve? Lie down, enjoy, life carefree, there is everything. It's just that it will get boring if you don't do anything." Anastasia asked me a question instead of an answer. "Say, Vladimir, do many people think the same way about the first man Adam as you did now? Most, for sure. And what did they have to do in paradise? Only then did the man begin to mature and come up with all kinds of ideas. Man matured by working. He also became smarter thanks to work. You need to work. Even though the first man was much smarter than today's, so work had more meaning for him. It required greater intellectual abilities, awareness and willpower. What did Adam and Eve do in paradise? Worked in the garden? Every gardener can do it now, not to mention the scientists who do plant selection. In the Bible, nothing is said about the activity of Adam. If everything were presented in detail in the Bible, it would be impossible to read it for the entire lifetime of a person. Do you want to know what Adam did? I'll tell you, but first remember that it is said in the Bible that God entrusted Adam to name and determine the purpose of existence for every creature that lives on earth. That's what he, Adam, did. He did what all scientific institutions in the world together have failed to date.